All right, let's see. All right, we should be live. Let me just double check. Oh no, still setting up. All right, we should be live. And I am joined here with Ronnie. I am so excited to have her on our client spotlight today. I'm going to turn over the reins to her to introduce herself and share a little bit more about her. So Ronnie, can you share with our audience a little bit more about you and what you do?
Hey, everybody. So glad to see you here. I'm Ronnie Lowe, life coach. My actual name is Ronnie Loaiza. And I've been with NAS some months now. Nas and I were joking around because I look so dark. I'm like, well, it is almost Halloween. I just decided all black today. I look kind of Elvira-ish, but usually I'm much more colorful. But I am a life coach. If you didn't get that from Ronnie Lowe, life coach, it just came out of my mouth one day and somebody said it sounded really good. It just kind of streams out. And since Loaiza is my last name, it's kind of easier.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about, as a life coach, who do you help and what do you help them do?
Well, that's just it. NASA's helped me with this because everybody, I'll tell you my story in a second, but to answer your question, everybody, the gurus were saying niche, 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 micro niche, even more micro niche. And so I've evolved because, and there was something in me that kept saying, I understand the concept of micro niche, but it wasn't resonating with me. And different people were seeking me out. Men, women. So I have finally come to the conclusion and realization that I can help just about anybody at any age out, but it's me and my style and my approach and my methodology. And
Yeah.
I started out, I'll give you a little bit of background as a personal trainer when COVID hit. And before then I was a journalist and I was still a working journalist through 2016, but I got into fitness because of my health. Long story short, my mission became if I, the non-athlete with health issues, I have 5 herniated discs, could finally work out and not have pain, I could help other people be as fit as they can be at any fitness level, no matter who you are, 20-year-old, 60-year-old. So that kind of has evolved into my coaching because when the pandemic happened, a lot of people, even though they pulled their big girl pants up, a lot of women especially, were not working out and not taking care of themselves. And they were on Zoom till 9 at night or on emails and just no boundaries. I was told, my kids are doing homework on the dining room table, whole bunch of stuff. And fitness is always the first thing to drop off that Google calendar. Yeah. So people were telling me, my friend doesn't want to work out or my sister's not taking care of herself, blah, 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 blah. So I'd be like, you want me to talk to her? And I started talking to people and literally people were telling me, God, you're a good coach. I wasn't a coach. I thought coaching was like the Real Housewives of somewhere, it's like who pays for a life coach? I don't get that. But I started looking into it and I took it seriously. And I saw that, yes, there were executive coaches, sports coaches, performance coaches, leadership coaches. There are like 27 different kinds of coaches, menopause coaches. But I thought, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. And for me, I went to school, got certified, and I'm still taking courses, but I got my first level. But nobody ever asked to see the certification. It was more for me.
It is more for you.
I wanted to know what I was talking about, what I was doing, and just have that. And that's when I started really having problems like, oh my gosh, here comes the niching. But I really do help people in career growth, in the relationships, in their communication, their sex life. It's the same concept. And we can go more into that, but.
Yes. And so we realized that it was about her helping people level up and that's a holistic process, right? Like it doesn't have to be that we help them level up in one area of their life when in reality, one thing trickles into the rest. So I think that was the powerful shift. So start out by sharing your big win that you most recently came to the realization of kind of accidentally.
Okay. I got to tell everybody that I'm like a problem child to NAS because I'm always asking a million questions and like, okay, you said it one way. Could you say it this other way? And can you clarify again? Because as for a coach, you would think I don't overthink, but I really try to whittle it down. So when she said, wow, that's a huge win, I looked at her and I'm like, well, I compared myself to all these other people that are with NAS and they're like, big money, big dollar signs, lots of clients. I just got 5 calls and I was like, well, it was only 2 clients. Then I thought, but 2 clients are great. So I was kind of, celebrating the win. But then NAS asked me, well, how many clients did you have when you started? I'm like, 1.
Yeah.
And so, and then I had 5. And like I said, I haven't been with NAS all that long. So I'm like, that's true. And even though 2 were not directly from the method that NAS is
Yeah.
using, I started thinking about they were from my messaging that I've been working on working with NAS.
Isn't that
If that
funny
makes
though, by
sense.
the way, like total one. So I want to clarify, Miss Ronnie here has 5 clients. And when we started working together, you had 1 paying client. And so one, I want to clarify for the world, because I think a lot of times we overthink and don't recognize the huge wins. And to me, going from 1 paying client to 5 paying clients is ginormous. Like that's huge. And it doesn't have to look like everyone else's version of success. But also, like you said, the clarity in your messaging. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that clarity in your messaging is going to literally overflow. It's like a waterfall that falls into everything that we do, from conversations that you're having in real life situations, to sales calls, to the way you create content, to everything.
Yeah.
Messaging is the cornerstone of how we communicate our value with others. So I think it's a really powerful thing, but I do laugh because it was almost like accidental, because she didn't really think it was that big of a deal. And I was like, you have 5 paying clients right now.
And you keep saying paying, and I should explain that when life coaches first start, we need a lot of hours. We need practice. So we're like, come on, I'll coach you. I'll coach you. And we have to record it. And then we have to keep a log for the accreditation. So I had 5 or 6 non-paying clients, and that was great because I love it. But then at some point you have to pay the mortgage, but we do need the practice hours. So when I started with NAS, I had a good 4 or 5 unpaying clients. And at some point you got to just get off of that and go, okay, here I go. So the paying clients is a huge deal, and it really does shift everything in here. Because like,
Yes,
this is valuable. This is valuable. And I'm actually seeing results in people. I'm
yes,
helping them. I'm
yes,
really helping them level up. So that's why she keeps saying paying clients, because there's a
yes.
huge difference. And a lot of people, when they start out, whatever business they're in real estate and whatever, and they work with you, I know that there's so many freebies and there's so many discounts, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Everybody loves a good sale or a discount. But if you keep going, if they say no, it's like, okay, how about this? They don't see your
You
worth.
discount yourself, you discount your value, and then you start to like go into a backwards momentum. So I think it really is powerful when we recognize our value, we stand strong with our value, and we see for ourselves what it is that we do, because I think it all starts with that. And I think when we talk methodology, it's not just like some fancy way of like how we market our business. Yes, that's a great thing. It gives us like a container to be able to speak to it. But I think it's the fact that everyone who goes through the process that we do with methodology comes out the other side saying, holy moly, I really am a huge expert, like seeing for themselves what they do and being able to like feel that in their bones so that they don't question it. They don't wonder. They know for a fact that like, I really do have something really freaking amazing to offer.
Yeah. And what I really appreciate is back to the clarity and the messaging. And I'm working on that. That's my biggest struggle for me. But what I like is I see so many other people in your program that do nothing like what I do. And each one is so unique. And then you're really helping them when we work on the calls together. You're really helping them on the same method. They see their methodology, and then it's how to convey that message.
Yeah.
Like my accountability partner was your last spotlight, Erica. She's in real estate, but a different kind of thing in real estate. But your program works with her just as it works with me. We do nothing alike. And then you have other people that do other kinds of things. But it's the same thing. It's getting that message across and being really clear, not sounding like everybody else.
Exactly. So share with us, when you came to me, what was it that you were struggling with or that you wanted to solve that led you to ultimately working with me?
I want to put this in a way that I don't put other people down. I, like many of my friends, and I'm 57 years old, by the way, and I have gone through so many career pivots and changes, and I've evolved, and that's all my choice. But I don't believe you're ever too old to do anything. So because I was called to it, and this is my purpose, and I love it. But the reason I say that is because I have friends that did start doing other things because of the pandemic. A lot of people went online or started looking for new things to do, and they became entrepreneurs. And a lot of people, including myself, were just attracted by all the webinars and challenges. And again, I'm not trying to put anybody down. Everybody has good stuff. But with all these challenges and webinars and programs, and everybody had to do the same thing, and everybody had to follow a template, and everybody had to, sound alike. And again, the whole, well, I think you should micro niche. I mean, you should only, help people who are 5'2" and have blonde hair. I mean, it got that micro niche. It may sound silly, but it's like you had to follow a formula. And it wasn't working for me. And a lot of my friends as well, who became entrepreneurs, they were saying, it's not working for me. I'm spending all this money. So some people may, I don't want to say stalk you, but it kind of stalk you 2 or 3 years and then work with you. I was the opposite. And I do follow people. That's what we mean by stalk. I follow people and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I want to use your product or whatever. But with you, it's like, I don't even know how I saw or heard you now. I don't remember, but I remember that I right away said, yeah, I want to hear about this. And I really put you through the grinder in that first interview. Well, you're going to do the same things, the same formula. And I told you my problem. I've spent so much money. I don't want to waste any more money on these programs. I was like looking for the secret sauce. And you were and so many people, when you get on discovery calls or sales calls, they don't really tell you what their program is. It's very blah, blah, ambiguous. Yeah. And you were like, we do this. And you answered the question. I'm like, well, that's pretty easy. You just answered the question. And then you said you can go look at, some people's examples. And I saw what your clients did. I'm like, okay, it was just out there. It's like, do I want to do exactly that? And that's exactly what we're working toward, exactly what they did.
Yeah. I think we talk a lot about this in what we talk about with the easy yes method is like, you getting an easy yes from someone does not come from us being ambiguous in what we're sharing, because those intrigue type marketing, like they've worked for a really long time. As someone who's been in marketing for a really long time, I'll tell you, it used to work. We could use intrigue marketing and just be like, oh, come do the thing that I do. Don't worry about how I do it. And it worked because a lot of people weren't smart to that and they trusted people and it wasn't a big deal. But I think what people need to realize now is the more we have clarity and the more we have the ability to clearly articulate that without being ambiguous and just saying, here's what I do, here's how I do it, and here's why it works. That is going to create such a faster conversion, but also it's going to allow people to start really seeing you as someone who, okay, she gets it. She knows what I need to do. And it's like this expertise piece as well. So I think that I love that you say that because it really is true. Like I could spend all day intriguing people into thinking marketing is really fun and great, but I'm going to break it down and say, here's the things we do, take it or leave it. That's what we have. That creates easy yeses when we can create that clarity, not only for ourselves, but for others as they come in to meet us and understand what we do. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Yeah. And I think you sort of answered this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Were there any objections that kept you from almost not working with me?
Yeah, I was afraid that it was too good to be true and I didn't want to waste money again. And it wasn't you, it was my fear.
Yep.
Because I had spent a lot of money on webinars and systems and all this, and I didn't want bait and switch. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you conveyed that. That was just my inner fear. But I was like, sure. Okay, but it's just my inner fear. She's being upfront with me. I got a hold of some of your clients and they were so upfront, like, oh yeah, this is how it worked for me. The easy yes method. And so I was like, okay, it's just my fear. But there was just something in me that said, I'll do the work and it'll happen. And so it's been hard for me because the hard part for me is being different from everybody else but once I grasp a concept, it's like, okay, so I'm a little slow, or at least I've been telling myself I'm slow because I want to get everything perfect, but I'm letting go of that being perfect. It's funny because I coach people on this, but then when it comes to me, it's like, okay. And then I get all tangled up and then you help me untangle. It's like, okay, clarity, and just give faith and just, I don't want to say I'm not a Pollyanna, click your heel 3 times, positivity. No, I like proof. I like evidence. I'm that type. That's me.
Yes.
So to be positive, it's like the brain looks for evidence. If you're negative, it's going to look for everything that's negative. Yes. That's just how we're wired. And if you're positive about it, it's like, okay, I have proof that this is possible. And you start looking for evidence, like the wins or some of the things you have us do wins and they're real. The brain starts going, okay, you're capable. Okay, proof, go on. Okay, you did it. Okay, proof, go on. So I like that. I like that you set me straight. And it's like, Ronnie, you got to be positive. If this is not for you, this is not for you. I mean, I'll tell everybody. Naz finally said, if this program is not for you, it's not for you. And so I have to think about it. I'm like, I'm just really struggling, and it's me. It's not the program. It's me. And so finally, I hopped on board and said, okay, I got to coach myself the way I coach other people. It's like, what is my brain looking for? And so I started looking for the positives, and I started looking for clarity, and I started getting rid of everything that was not clear. And I was much better.
Yes.
And then I got the 2 clients like that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think it's so incredible to see that shift, is that when we let ourselves, we had to do so much unlearning. And I say this not just about Ronnie, like everyone, like every single person who comes and works with me, it's incredible the amount of unlearning we have to do about like, oh no, I have to micro niche. Oh no, I have to do these. Like there's so many things we've been taught for a really long time, so that when we come into a space where I'm like, listen, we get to build your business your way. And it's the thing we always wanted, but it feels really freaking scary because all these beliefs we've been taught for so long. So that's number one. Every single person I meet goes through a huge unlearning phase of letting go of all the things they've been told. But then, like you said, being able to see and look for the reasons this would work. And immediately it was like a flip, like we flipped a switch, and you saw that and you took hold of those opportunities and said, okay, cool, I'm going to do all the things I need to be able to do. So it leads me to my next question. What for you has been the biggest shift that you're the most excited of, or the most proud of, or has been the most profound for you? What's the biggest shift through what we've done so far?
Well, first of all, I don't want to put down micro niching because it does work for people. That's the big thing, is like, whatever works for you will work. Well, what's the right way? Well, what will work for you?
Yeah.
And I used to say that as a personal trainer, like, well, should I do yoga or Pilates? Yes. What? The one that you will do. Should I do cardio or strength training? Yes. The one you'll do the most. I always said, yes, the one that works for you. And it's like, hello, same thing with me. It's okay to do what will work for me.
Yes.
So I think the biggest shift is walking the talk. I'm starting to walk my own talk. And the biggest shift is I'm having fun. I love honing it down. I love being cleared. When you get clarity, it's like, yes.
Yes.
And it's fun.
I think that's one of the most underappreciated gifts of what we are able to do in business, is being able to create the clarity that drives our action. And I think it's just one of those things that we all kind of throw to the side and think, oh, clarity's not going to make me money. Clarity's not going to make me happy. Clarity's not going to, when in reality, it's probably the biggest driving force to what we're doing. So I love that you shared that, because clarity truly is that. So my last and final question for you is, if someone was thinking about working with me, going through the Easy Yes method, what would you have to say to them?
Talk to Nas, and you're a grown ass woman or man. You can make your own decision. It's okay. And don't even make the pros and cons. Just really listen to what Nas has to say, and really look at Next Level and what she offers here. It's a process. It's out there. It's very open for you to look at. Nas is not afraid of, oh, they're going to steal my method. She didn't create it. She just realized it was there. People have been doing it for centuries. So, the bingeable method, the easy yes method. It's things that I can't put this book down, that type of feeling that provokes people. People have been doing it for centuries. Like, I can't put this book down. I can't put this information down. I can't. So that's just kind of like a little hint of what it is. But so what I would advise people is just have a good talk with you. And she's very upfront, and you can talk to other people. I know I did. And then you're a smart person. Follow, I wouldn't say your instincts, but follow your smarts.
Yeah, I love it.
Instincts aren't your smarts. It's everything you've learned. Don't follow your fears, follow your smart instincts.
So true. So true. So share with us, if someone was watching here and said, oh, I need support with leveling up in my world, where could they learn more about you and what you do, and seek you out?
Well, I've been very active on LinkedIn, and I've made a lot of great connections, and I learn there, and I write articles in there. So I share and I also learn. So I'm really active in there. So hop on Ronnie Lowe Life Coach, RONNIE LO Life Coach, or Ronnie Loaiza. And Now said I could put the LinkedIn link in the comments. I also have a Facebook group. I'll tell you all about that. Everything's on LinkedIn, though, everywhere you can find me, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Perfect. So Ronnie will come back into the comments and drop her information so you can go find her and learn more about her and what she does. And if you've been listening to this and you're thinking, well, maybe the Easy Yes method could be something that would work for me, and you want to learn about how that looks like for you, send me a DM or drop Easy Yes in the chat and we'll reach back out to you and we'll have a super casual conversation about your business and where those opportunities are. And we can share how this would work for you as well. But thank you again, Ronnie, for joining us here today. I appreciate your time and thanking you for sharing your story. And again, I hope you guys all have an amazing day.